Hello. Behind me is a city, not called, maybe I cannot call this mansion, but most wooden cabin you will see this form of cottage with garden, and it belongs to grandfather of Maxim Gorky, maybe the biggest literator from our city. This cabin, and nowadays here it is a museum of Maxim Gorky youth, and especially a book Childhood by Maxim Gorky. It written on materials from that very cottage, and we can say that this work of Gorky is not about not so about maybe economy of family or style of way living, but more about thing that in Russian culture called Domostroy. Domostroy is in cultural meaning is some kind of oppression of pushing on their own families, how abusive style of human relationships and family. And grandfather of Maxim Gorky was such kind of person, and when you read book Childhood, you understand that this is a lot of words is in general about this kind of relationships, and it is interesting. But the real book Domostroy is not so about, for example, punishment, so for about inequality of people, but it is rules written by high-class monk Sylvester after Mongol invasion. Social position of monks, of high-level monks and priests in our society grow in very fast way, because in Mongol society fighting persons, bogatyrs is like young warriors with great ambitions. Bogatyrs cannot make some oppression on especially religious person and thinkers, because in Far Eastern society religion and thinking is is one field of doing. So social position of monks grows, and such kind of monks who rule big monastery with a lot of money, of wealth, of power, he wrote instruction to not religious but commercial, but to merchants, to high-class merchants too, how they not to be a moral person but to be a good organized person. As a man with education, Sylvester try to make a picture of rational and good educated life of person with great amount of money, but there is a very special ability of or mistake in Eastern type of society. His mistake is about absolutely wrong how to say, absolutely wrong picture, image of your own class of living in lower class. So when a man from lower class began to get some amount of bigger money than he usually get, he often began to think that he became a very rich person. So, and therefore book Domostroy was interpreted by for example city crafters, not high class merchants, but crafters with cottages, with quite a lot more money than common man, like instruction directly for them. But in the reality, real high class person, they have not enough money to oppress other people. They have such a lot of social communications. They have such a lot operations on the market to work with, and they have not enough money to control all the family economics. So real book Domostroy and monk Sylvester, he insists that that kind of person must make some attention to doings of his servants, because they easily can start to steal anything, or to make very unethic relationships with other families, which drop this rich family in social position. So he insists that with relations with your servants, you must stay in some controlling position, not you must remember that they not your family, and they not want you to in reality to treat them like family members, because when you begin to do this, you may only became in their eyes like a foolish person. So, but then this book was widely spread on all our country. People from not high class, but from crafter layers of the society began to read it out, and they think, oh, I must push them hard. So they absolutely wrong was absolutely wrong in interpretations of messages from 17th century from Sylvester Monk. And so this misinterpretation is one of the key understanding to special situation in Eastern societies, because in the reality this mistake between low class economical activists and between top of a society is very useful trick to political class to make a lot of people to be loyal, or to believe that political government is serving to the interests. How this policy is in interests of all that people, and it helps to fast group society in one one wave, which you can use to, for example, to pioneering Siberia or to make some conquest. But there is another rule: easy to gather, easy to lose. so then generation changes if generation of fathers don't get some real useful positions from that manner of their own life, life building. Like Domostroy. Domostroy is life home building, but it's in meaning of life building. So then you make when the generation of fathers make great mistakes in that mood, so the generation of sons hardly reject anything that connect with that style of that life direction. So we can see stadiums with statues from Stalin period, and in generation before Second World War it was great motivation, but after World War these very statues became more symbols of absolutely uninteresting life from next generation, because they can't see that their fathers, who was gathered by that culture, that symbols, that flew, that wave, they became not successful persons, and most of them dies early, most of them was very poor, so they reject everything connected with that style of culture. So political top must after that put their stakes on absolutely another style of culture, maybe on science or on space exploration or on cultivating some lands. And this social wave, it's typical, as you see in history, for many Oriental cultures. In ancient world, for example, these cultures are Assyrians, Persian Empire. With in one side strength, and in another is is very it is very silly, because it's so short longing wave, but in the very people who see that wave, they can treat it like tsunami, like absolutely unbreakable waves of, for example, forces or waves of activists, and nobody can resist them in fantasies or in imagination. And it's very, for me, it's very pity that government again want to use that technology, because it, in short terms, they can treat it like successful, but in long term It's absolutely like road with with point B, without point B, only with point A. Nowhere to go. And it's for sure, in reality, it's for short achievements of political manipulators. So how it works, and that situation between people like Gorky family, exceptionally his grandfather Kashirin, and this book of monk Sylvester is in that how to say information channel, in that style. You can say that in very Western cultures, stories like this, for example, Breakfast at Tiffany's, or how to say, Pretty Woman, is based on such kind of motivation. But these stories are for, how to say, in present day society is not very, they are not very useful, and they treat with very, how to say, passive social traits. For example, with women who believe that some kind of relations change their social position in unexpected way in growth. So then whole society work like that. Women, it's not very how to say, picture of strength, really strength society. It's absolutely another situation.